Okay, cool. Yep. Ready, Rob? Alright, let's do it. Well, hello and welcome to the Movie Paradise Show. I'm your host, Nathanael Molnár. I'm joined with our co-host, Rob Giachinta. Rob, thanks for being here with us.
Hey, no problem.
So, the Movie Paradise Show, we do this every single Saturday here on YouTube, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're talking about movies. We have a few different things we do. We have a few different segments. Last week, we tried the first edition of the Movie Paradise Show, at least this iteration of it. We didn't go as well as we had planned. We didn't have a lot of audio. But now we have Matt Smith joining us working on the tech. So shout out to Matt Smith for helping us out with this show and with shows going forward. So let's get right into it. Rob, you want to kick us off with our first segment here on the Movie Paradise Show?
Well, our first segment is called Did You Hear?
Did you hear? Did I hear? We'll find out.
Now, Nathaniel, did
Yes.
you hear the official cast for the Suicide Squad movie? The new one?
I did not hear. Tell me more about this cast, Rob.
Well, it's a cast that includes some of the returning characters from the first movie, including Margot Robbie and Viola Davis and Jai Courtney and Joel Kinnaman. But we also got some new characters that I don't think we really know who anybody's playing. But some of the new actors that joined the Suicide Squad are... You're going to have to do some slack on the names here.
Okay, Randy.
David Dastmalchian, you know him from The Dark Knight and Ant-Man. He's kind of the scarier looking, really tall guy. We got John Cena, Nathaniel's favorite actor. Oh
yeah, brilliant actor. His performance in Bumblebee, how was he not nominated for Best Supporting Actor?
We have somebody by the name of Joaquin Cosio. Take that as you will. A big favorite of like the kind of the Comic-Con crowd is Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion, yeah.
What was that show he was on? The one that
Firefly?
Yeah, there you go, that one. And he's been in a lot of James Gunn movies, pretty much all of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, he was in Super. I remember him in Super.
I think he was in that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I remember him in Super. He was good in that.
Oh, yeah, it was a good movie. Okay, moving on, we have Mei-Ling NG.
Okay.
I don't know what that is. We also have Flou Laborde. He's a comedian. He's European. And he was in some of the Pitch Perfect movies. He's actually pretty funny. That's someone I'd be looking forward to seeing. Mm-hmm. We also have James Gunn's brother, Sean Gunn, who plays...
Of course.
What's Forglin from Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, he was Kraglin in those movies, but he was also the stand-in for Rocket on set. He was in the motion capture suit with the actors playing Rocket in those movies, and then Bradley Cooper went into the sound booth after and recorded all the audio for Rocket.
That's cool.
It is cool.
All right, we also have a Juan Diego Boto.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Storm Reed, who's been playing Rue's younger sister on Euphoria. I'm a big fan of her.
And she was also... yeah, go ahead.
She was in the smaller movie Don't Let Go that came out a couple weeks ago. She was pretty good in that, too. That's an actress I'd like to see more.
Wasn't she also in the Ava DuVernay movie, Wrinkle in Time?
Yep. Mm-hmm. She was the star of that. I never saw that.
I never saw that one either, and I didn't hear good things about that. But from everything I did hear about that movie, I heard that she was really good in that. So,
I bet. I'm excited to see her. And moving on, we got Pete Davidson, one of the best SNL cast that I think we've had in a while, and I think he's really funny. And I don't know about yourself, but I like how it seems to be a trend. They're getting more comedy-oriented actors for the movie.
Yeah.
For some of these parts. I feel like this movie is going to have like a real Guardians of the Galaxy feel, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not so certain yet what the tone is going to be. I think we have to wait till we see the trailers and everything. But at least from this cast that they've assembled, it's really interesting because I think what this ultimately communicates is that this isn't going to be the complete, total reboot that I think a lot of us thought, including myself. Like when I first heard that, James Gunn's out of Guardians of the Galaxy, he's done with Marvel, and he's got studios lining up to give him projects, he could do whatever he wants, and DC comes to him and says, pick any film project you want to do, even if you want to do Superman, we have no plans for Superman, you can do whatever it is that you want to do. And he says, I want to do Suicide Squad. I always interpreted that to be that James Gunn was coming in, throwing away that horrible Academy Award-winning Suicide Squad, throwing that aside, and doing a completely new iteration as if this was the first Suicide Squad. That's what I had always been going on the assumption of. And then now we have this cast where we see Margot Robbie, and we see Joel Kinnaman, and we see Viola Davis, that they're back in this movie and they're playing their characters. Which I don't know necessarily how to feel about that right now. I think it ultimately depends upon the story that James Gunn is telling, how those characters are going to be used, but I'm also really excited by the rest of the cast that we have involved in this film. I think you mentioned a lot of great, heavy-hitting actors in that film that I think are going to add a lot, John Cena excluded. But, I mean, it ultimately depends, because, I mean, you could have said the same thing about Dave Bautista before Guardians of the Galaxy. You could have said, he's got no acting talent, he can't do anything. But if you take an actor like Dave Bautista, you give him a director and put him in the right hands of someone like a James Gunn, who has a character who's shaped and molded to fit Dave Bautista's acting abilities, and he's used in the right way and plays up his strengths and hide his weaknesses. I think James Gunn could do something like that for John Cena. We could get a really great performance. Because, I mean, we both saw Trainwreck. John Cena is excellent in something like that. And I think it's just more when you give him something like he was in Bumblebee, and I didn't see, what was that movie he did where he was the lead? Blockers? I didn't see Blockers.
That was good.
But, I mean, I heard from a lot of people that, people liked it, but it wasn't like one of the most renowned comedies of that year. And from what I heard from a lot of people was that he was one of the weaker parts of it, that he wasn't ready to lead a film yet.
In my opinion, he was really good, and I thought that was one of the better comedies last year. But that's just me.
Yeah, that's just you. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't see it. I don't really have a comment on that film.
The only other note, I'll skip some of these people, I just have no clue who the hell they are, but we have writer-director Taika Waititi joining the cast, and he's also an actor as well. We've seen him. He's going to be in Jojo Rabbit, the movie he directed. Yeah. And Michael Rooker, who played, what the hell is his name in Guardians?
Yondu? Yeah, Yondu.
Yeah, okay, the guy with the dart. I like him a lot. He's usually pretty good. And Jennifer Holland, who I believe is James Gunn's wife. So, there you go. I don't know what
keeping it all in the family.
Yep. And the one thing I find interesting about this is I'm reading his Instagram now, and the caption for it, don't get too attached. I feel like a lot of these roles could end up just being like small cameos in a way.
Well, I think what that means is that a lot of them are going to die. Because it's the Suicide Squad.
I think some of them are going to die, early, I think.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think a lot of these people are going to die. And I think they're going to die brutal deaths. And it's going to be great.
Who is the guy who died in the first Suicide Squad? Literally,
I don't care. I don't know. I don't care.
Was it Slip? I think it was Slip.
Something.
I think that was the name of the character.
Who cares? Take that movie, throw it in the trash can, never return to it, never revisit it.
I wish they were bringing back that. I think his name was Diablo. Was that the guy with the fire or whatever?
I personally, I don't care about anything about that movie. Personally, I would have rather that no Margot Robbie, no Joel Kinnaman, no Viola Davis, I would have been probably, I mean, granted, it's all about how they're used in this upcoming movie. I would have preferred a complete, wipe the slate completely clean and make a brand new movie. That's personally what I would have preferred. But, you know, we'll see what James Gunn does with it.
I think it's going to be good.
I am excited. I'm very excited to see what James Gunn does with it. And I'm very excited that we're going to have both James Gunn doing the Suicide Squad movie, and he's also coming back to do Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I think the fact that we're getting both of those is really exciting.
That is cool.
So, moving on to the next part. Rob, I don't know if you heard. Did you hear that MoviePass finally shut down? Finally. Did you hear about this?
I thought they were supposed to shut down last year. Weren't
They
you
should
so
have.
adamant that they were going to like go out of business last year?
They
like,
absolutely
so
should
adamant
have.
that you made like a $20 bet and then lost.
I did. No, the rumors are true. We did make a bet, you and me, last year, because I had said that I thought by the end of the calendar year, by the end of 2018, that MoviePass would be shut down. And they stuck it out a little bit longer. They probably should have closed their doors then. That would have made more financial sense for them. But let's just chronicle a little bit the odyssey, if you will, of MoviePass. Because this has been one of the most interesting stories in the whole industry to follow for the last few years. So MoviePass breaks out into the scene, borrowing from, I believe it's Cinemark overseas. They'd been doing a movie theater subscription service, which now is more commonplace. But if you're one of the people who aren't aware what a movie theater subscription service is and how it works, is essentially you sign up for a service where you pay a flat fee per month. And depending upon which service it is you're subscribed to, you get a certain amount of movies that you can see either a week or a month, however it is the service works. So the basic idea is instead of paying for your movie tickets per ticket, you pay a flat fee for a certain amount of time, and then you can go see a certain amount of movies within however it is that's structured. So they've been doing this overseas for a while, and then MoviePass really brought it to North America here, where it was, $10 a month for a movie a day, which everybody went nuts for, because they're like... now, granted, I mean, and I'm sure you're going to bring this up, that they had been doing it before where it was a little bit different and you were paying more like $40 a month. But what got MoviePass on the map was when they introduced $10 a month for a movie a day. And everyone was asking, how can they be making their money? Like, because if you buy one ticket, you've pretty much already paid for the month subscription. So if you do actually go and see 30 movies in a month, using MoviePass, that's a lot of money that MoviePass has to still pay to the studios and to the theaters. So people were always asking, how is MoviePass making their money? Well, the answer was that they weren't making their money at all. They were losing tons of money. They were just blowing through cash. And their ultimate plan, what they were ultimately trying to do, was they wanted to gain enough of a following, enough of a subscription base, so that they could come to the movie theaters and say, hey, look at all this business we have. If you want us to still be promoting your theater, if you want when people open up their MoviePass app to be able to go see a movie at your theater, you have to give us some of the concession stand money. That was their ultimate plan. And then what ultimately happened was movie theaters said no, absolutely not, because MoviePass was making a bunch of shady deals under the table and ripping people off and not giving them what people thought they were signing up for and changing the terms and conditions as it was going without people knowing. All this crazy stuff. And so then what ultimately happened is the movie theater said, well, why don't we just cut out the middle person and create our own subscription service? And that's how we have AMC A-List and Regal's launching theirs, and a whole bunch of other movie theater subscription services have risen up in the wake of MoviePass. But MoviePass has been holding on dearly, and now MoviePass has finally shut down their doors, to which I say, good riddance. Good riddance. But, I mean, MoviePass was good for what it was in its heyday. It was just a way for me to go see movies without paying a ton of money. And you know what? MoviePass served its purpose for a little bit of time, and then once A-list came around, it was like, I'm all A-list now. And MoviePass just continuously lied to its shareholders, lied to its users, kept changing what its service was without telling anybody, and really screwed people out of money because they were just hoping that people were going to sign up for the service and then forget about it. And honestly, you've been making this point for a while, Rob, that I think that's the only reason why they've stayed in business as long as they have, was that people signed up and then just forgot about it. But
how many people do you think have gym subscriptions that don't even, like, it just, that's with everything.
But, I agree. I heard someone make a point about this recently, which I think is a very good point that I've been forgetting, was that people hate going to the gym. So people would get a gym membership and then just would never go because they were never motivated. People love going to the movies. So it's hard to have a gym membership plan for something like the movies where you're banking on people not going to the gym because people hate the gym, but people love going to the movies, so people are going to use that subscription service. It's, I don't know.
I think they were trying to get like the people, like my mom will go to like a movie like a month, but like they don't love it, but they saw the deal and they thought it was worth it and they should get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like for us, like we were gonna use that MoviePass to that thing, like to that cow's milk.
Yeah. Well, I think MoviePass, for all of its faults, its ultimate purpose in history was to get us into this age of movie theater subscription services that are based within the actual movie theaters. Because I think like something like A-List actually makes sense financially. Because what something like A-List is doing is it's driving people to come more often to the movies, but their hope is that, hey, if people are saving money on the actual tickets, they'll spend more at the concession stands. And so then there's actually, like, AMC is actually profiting off of it, and they're not losing money. And so it actually is sustainable, whereas with MoviePass, because they weren't actually linked to the theaters, they needed revenue to come in some other way, which wasn't going to work for them. So I think ultimately the purpose that MoviePass served in history was to get us from the point of where movie theater subscription services were not commonplace. And now they are, and it transitioned from like a third-party movie theater subscription service to actually being hosted within movie theaters. And I think that's ultimately what its purpose was, and now we're at this place, and it's like, okay, now MoviePass can go and die. And good riddance, honestly.
MoviePass died for this.
Mm-hmm. MoviePass is dead, ladies and gentlemen. So if you had a MoviePass subscription that you forgot about, it's gone, it's dead. Now you can sign up for A-List and forget that you have that. Alright.
And also, just an FYI, if you wanted to cancel your MoviePass subscription, don't just delete the app. Make sure you actually went in.
Yes. You can't just delete the app to delete MoviePass. You actually have to cancel the subscription, which is...
I declare bankruptcy!
Essentially. That actually happened to a friend of ours who had a little side story here. A friend of ours had MoviePass, and he was going to cancel MoviePass, and the question he asked us was, does MoviePass cancel by me just deleting the app? And we said, no, you can't just delete the app. You actually have to cancel the membership. So that was interesting. But anyways, so MoviePass is dead. So we can all rejoice, and now we can go and use our A-List or Regal subscriptions, whatever it is that we might have to go and see movies. So now we transition into the next part of the show, and this next part is called Go or No Go. How Go or No Go works is that we have a couple of movies that we've seen. Maybe both of us has seen it, maybe only one of us has seen it, but we're going to talk about these movies. And we're going to give our quick thoughts, and then we're ultimately going to say whether we give it a go or a no-go. Go as in, go see it to the theater, go watch it on Netflix, wherever it might be, or no-go as in, you could probably skip it, you don't really need to go see this movie. So the first film we're going to be talking about is Hustlers, which I just went and saw last night because I wanted to go see a movie. I hadn't seen a movie in a while in the theaters. And I went and saw Hustlers. My first thoughts on Hustlers was that I really enjoyed the movie a lot. I liked the trailers, but I wasn't super like over the top with the trailers. Like I didn't think they were the greatest things ever. It looked interesting and it looked intriguing. But you know, the trailer didn't completely sell me. But I went and saw the movie. The movie is very good. The performances are really great in this. Like Jennifer Lopez is great, Constance Wu is great. All the performances in this movie are really good. I do feel like, and I don't know if you felt this way, Rob, but I felt like the story was a little bit drawn out. Like where this ultimately comes from is that this movie is based upon a newspaper article, which the film is kind of framed around this idea of the article being written. But it felt like, to me at least, that there wasn't too much to the actual story of what happened. And so they kind of drew it out a lot to make it last the full hour and a half of the movie. And I could feel that as I was watching the film. Like, it just felt like it was being drawn out. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just more felt like it felt a little bit drawn out. But I was enjoying the movie as I was watching it. But I will say the idea of having the whole narrative of the movie framed within it's being told through this interview for the article, that felt a little bit unnecessary, and it just felt like there was a bunch of like, okay, this is how we can have voiceover to explain all these parts of the movie. But overall, with those detractors aside, I really enjoyed the film. The performances are great. It's incredibly entertaining. There's a lot of great comedy. Overall, it's a very enjoyable movie. I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to say this is one to go see if you're intrigued by it, if it sounds interesting to you. Rob, you had a chance to see Hustlers, right?
Yes, I saw it last weekend.
So, what are your thoughts on Hustlers?
I really liked it too. It was a movie that I was kind of pretty excited about. It was originally supposed to be distributed by Annapurna a while ago, and then they were kind of in a financial crisis almost, and they started dropping some of their projects, and this ended up being picked up by the company STX, and now that company was also they were looking like they might need to call bankruptcy soon, but this movie really delivered. This movie made a lot of money for itself compared to like how much it cost, I think.
Yeah, didn't it make, like how much opening weekend did it make? Like 28?
Around 40 almost. That's pretty good.
That is, for a movie, like, I wasn't expecting this movie to do that well.
No, this is like, for SBS, the company, this is honestly going to save their studio, maybe keep them above water for a while. But, it was a movie that I really enjoyed. I agree with you in the sense that I found a lot of it seemed to be repetitive. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like we'd be in the strip club, and do the same thing over and over with a new guy, and then we do it again, and then we do it again, and we do it again. But there was enough in the performances that I had a good enough time, because the chemistry between Constance Wu and Jennifer Lopez was really good, I thought. Yeah. You could totally, tell their friendship they had.
That was one of the biggest selling points of the movie for me, was buying into their relationship. Because I really bought into their friendship, and I enjoyed that part of it a lot, and you could really feel that. And I agree with the repetitiveness of the oh, here we go, let's bring another guy into the strip club, we'll get him drunk, and then we'll do this, and then another guy, and another guy. Like, that's part of why it felt so drawn out, was because it felt like they didn't have enough story there to last a whole movie. So we're just going to take this one part of it and just spend a whole bunch of time on this one part to kind of draw it out. That's ultimately what it felt like to me. But I agree with you. Definitely a really entertaining movie. Rob, you gonna give it a go or a no-go?
Oh, well, I gotta say one more. I think that's okay.
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I had a couple. I want to give the director some credit too, Lauren Scarpicchia. There was a scene in the beginning that kind of like a long tracking shot through the strip club of the man, and I thought that was really cool. I love how she shot this. I would like to see more movies from her. Yeah. She did Seeking a Friend for the End of the World too, and that's a very underrated movie as well, I think.
Oh, I think I watched half of that. Yeah. I think I watched half of that. Yeah.
But another thing I wanted to say, I don't know why, but part of me like watching the movie was laughing with are we allowed to talk about what they did to these men since it's a real story, or no?
I'm sorry, I had a little bit hard time hearing you there. What'd you say?
Are we allowed to talk about what the women did to these men since it's a real story, or?
I'd say not, just to.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, talk about it vaguely.
What'd you say? I couldn't hear you.
Oh, sorry. I said you could talk about it vaguely.
Well, what these women end up doing towards like the second half of the movie, while it was kind of perceived like this is kind of funny. I don't know. I felt kind of gross watching it sometimes. Like I'm like, yeah. I know the guys that you're attacking are they the best guys in the world. No, but like this is kind of like freaking scummy what you're doing to these people.
I mean, yeah. I agree with you. Like, I don't think the movie was necessarily portraying them to be morally right in what they were doing. And I think, like, I understand, like, exactly. With the kind of people they were targeting, those weren't good people, but it was still wrong what they were doing. I will say, though, it does make sense why Cardi B was in the movie.
Thank God she was only in, like, the first 5 minutes. Yeah. Oh, my God. She's so annoying.
I didn't think she was that great in the movie. But...
well, she was just herself, and she's just an annoying person. Like, she can be very nice. I don't know her, but she's very annoying. She's very loud. I mean, I'm loud, too, but whatever.
Yeah.
But overall, I give this a go just because I think there's enough good performances and there's a good filmmaker behind this movie, and it's an original film, and I think you should give it a chance. I really do.
Yeah, definitely. So, for anyone watching, if you've seen Hustlers or you want to see Hustlers, let us know your thoughts. Jump into the comment section of the video and let us know what you think about Hustlers.
Yeah, ask us a question.
Moving on to the next go or no go. So this is one that I haven't seen. So Rob, you're going to take the charge. Tell me all about Rambo: Last Blood.
So I like to start this review out saying I've never seen a Rambo movie.
Oh, you never saw First Blood?
But I thought, no, I've never seen any of them. So, but I love Sylvester Stallone. I'm a big fan of Rocky movies and him in person. And I saw the trailer and I said, oh, this looks kind of fun, kind of like almost like a Taken-esque kind of movie or whatever. And what we got was a nice, like, hour 25 point, just bloody, gory, awesome movie. And Stallone was awesome in this movie. I mean, really, like, is this movie incredibly stupid? Oh yeah, 100%. But did I have an absolute blast watching him just freaking turn his ranch into just like a Call of Duty video game almost, and just like killing and gutting people? Oh yeah, it was so awesome. I didn't think this movie was gonna be as gory as it was too. There's like, you see like bone and like organs, and it was nasty. It was awesome.
That's what I'm looking for from a movie: bone and organs.
The whole watching it, you're like fist pumping and everything. I was like laughing, and like the whole theater was into it. And it was just really good. And again, if you're not like one of like action movies, I wouldn't suggest going. But for me, I'm definitely giving this a go. I think I want to go see it again because it's a nice, fast movie. You get in, get out, and you're entertained.
Yeah. So for me, I haven't seen Last Blood yet. The only Rambo movie I have seen is First Blood. And from what you're describing about Last Blood, and from what I have heard about Last Blood from other people, it sounds like I've been hearing a lot of that, like, oh, it really goes for the blood and the gore, and it's really violent, and it's really enjoyable in that sense. It sounds like a very interesting departure from First Blood. It sounds more in line with what the Rambo franchise became with a lot of the subsequent films. But First Blood's a lot more dramatic. I think it's kind of the same idea of what happened with the Rocky series, where you have the first Rocky, which is just like a very plain drama, and then the other movies kind of go a little bit more out there, a little bit more ridiculous. And it sounds like that's kind of what happened with the Rambo series, and it's interesting to see this conclusion with Last Blood. Even though it's called Last Blood, even though Stallone said like a few months ago, like, yeah, I'd make another one. So who knows if they're gonna make more. But so you give Rambo a go. I want to see it at some point. I'm hoping to see it.
The good matinee movie too.
Yeah.
Good, spend $8, have a good time at the theaters, and then go move on with your day.
Yeah, I do have my First Blood Blu-ray with me, so I can watch First Blood and then go see Last Blood.
I do want to watch First Blood, to be honest with you. I will watch that.
Yeah, you should, because First Blood is really good. It's very different. Very different. Like, it's not like the 80s crazy action that you would expect. It's like a lot more darker and more visceral and more dramatic. But First Blood is great. First Blood's a classic, so I definitely recommend checking that out. I would give First Blood a go, and you're giving Last Blood a go. So, anyways, Rob,
we can't talk about anything in between.
nothing. We can't speak to anything in between. But first and last.
You've seen the first one. I've seen the last one. We've never seen anything else.
Yep. There we go. So, Rob, why don't you take us home with the Rob Report? So, the Rob Report is a weekly editorial series here that Rob does every single week. Rob, what are you talking about today in this installment of the Rob Report?
All right, Rob Report, sponsored by Oscar Mayer Wieners. No, we're working on sponsorship. I've been talking to local meat dealers and all sorts of things, so we'll figure something out. For the Rob Report, we're going to talk about we were going to talk about this last week, but, things happened, so I figured, why not just not scrap it and just resurrect it like a phoenix in this Rob Report.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about some of the Toronto International Film Festival movies that came out. I think the festival was a couple weekends ago now, but I wanted to talk about some movies that weren't, getting as much love as the other ones were. Everybody's talking about Joker and the Mr. Rogers movie, but these are some smaller ones I think are going to sneak up on people and be some of their favorites of the year. So the first one I'm going to talk about just got its first 20-second little teaser. We get the full trailer on Monday, and that's Uncut Gems. It stars Adam Sandler and it's directed by the Safdie brothers. The directors have brought us Good Time, which is one of my favorite movies we've gotten the last couple of years. Just an absolute gritty, black hole of a movie, and Robert Pattinson was so good in that. And I feel like the Safdie brothers, at least in my opinion, kind of resurrected Robert Pattinson, and to which now that I am so stoked that he's going to be Batman. And I can understand why other people might not be, because maybe they only know him as the Twilight guy, but trust me, go watch Good Time, and I think you'd be like, oh yeah, this guy could give a good performance. But with Uncut Gems, we get Adam Sandler, and hopefully, I know people know Adam Sandler is a good dramatic actor, but I feel like not enough people know that just because of all the crap he puts out on Netflix. But hopefully, maybe... Oh,
I love Adam Sandler's comedy. Oh, Sandy Wexler, that's one of my favorite movies.
Watch them, but they're horrible. But I watch all of them because I'm just a fan of him. I think he's a really good guy, in my opinion. But hopefully Uncut Gems comes out and he realizes all the praise he's going to be getting from it. I think it has a 94 on Rotten Tomatoes. And hopefully he says, okay, I'll do my one bad comedy every year on Netflix to support my friends' mortgages and stuff, but then I'll do some more dramatic work as well.
No, he should stop the comedy. Just go full in on drama.
The comedies, though, they do a lot of business for him, though. The Murder Mystery is the highest watched movie on Netflix ever, they said.
But it's not good.
I understand that, but it's not good to us, but people like that, Nathanael.
Well, okay, yeah.
There is
I think he should just... I know he's not putting any effort into any of these comedies. He's literally doing them for the paycheck. Which, granted, everyone's doing it for the paycheck. But
they have fun making them, you can tell.
I really think he has such great dramatic talent. I agree with you. I hope Uncut Gems makes him realize he should really just go full in on this. Because I think he is an Academy Award level actor. We saw that with Reign Over Me, that he has that potential. And I've always said that I think he should have been nominated for Best Lead Actor over Will Smith that year for The Pursuit of Happiness. I think Adam Sandler should have gotten that spot and been nominated that year, because his performance in Reign Over Me is just fantastic. But
that's a great movie.
Yeah, I don't know. Every time I see him put out one of those shitty comedies, it just makes me think all this time that he's spending on these comedies where he's doing no work, no effort, when he could be working on these dramatic roles where he could actually be making a real name for himself instead of just, promoting that sort of old Adam Sandler name that was successful before, but nobody cares about anymore. I mean, people watch his movies, but I think people just put it on in the background while they're having sex or something. I don't know. Anyways.
I was having sex with myself while I watched the last one.
Anyways, what's the next one from TIFF we should be looking out for?
The next one we're going to talk about is a movie called Color Out of Space, and it's a new Nicolas Cage, H.P. Lovecraft science fiction adaptation movie of I don't know when this story came out, but it came out a while ago, and it's essentially about a man and his family and this like remote kind of town in Maine. These extraterrestrials land onto his land, and all sorts of weird shenanigans start happening. We don't obviously know the rest. I haven't seen the movie yet. Yeah. But what interests me so much about this is the fact that Nicolas Cage is in it, because I feel like he just lends just so much to everything he's in. Even if the movie's horrible, he's just always so watchable in anything he's in. And also, the director of this movie has not worked in about 25 to 30 years almost, because the last movie he was involved in, he was supposed to direct The Island of Dr. Moreau with Val Kilmer and Marlon Brando, and there was just so much infighting on set between the actors and the director that he just quit and basically left Hollywood for over 20 years, and now he is finally coming back, and I find it just like an interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too.
Now we're going to have to go to the list because I don't remember the other ones. Okay. I talked about some ones last time. I think I'll switch some of them up. So the next one I'll talk about is, I actually saw the trailer for this last night at the movie theater, and I was talking to Cole, and he seemed to be interested in it too. And it's called Motherless Brooklyn. Have you heard of this, Nathanael?
Motherless Brooklyn? Yeah, I have. I don't know too much about it, but I have heard of it.
Did you watch the trailer yet, or no?
I don't think so.
Well,
maybe I might have seen it once in the theater, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Once I describe the movie, you'll probably know if you have. So Edward Norton wrote and directed this movie. He hasn't directed a movie himself in like 15 years either, and he's an actor who doesn't seem to get a lot of work. It seems like he's very difficult to work with, but when you're working for yourself, I mean, we'll see what happens. But he stars. I think it's based on a book or something like that. But he stars as a man set in Brooklyn back in like early, maybe like 40s, 50s or whatever. And he's a man who suffers from Tourette's, and he has a hard time getting through life and such. And then, anyways, one day, a man named Frank, who's kind of like a runner of organized crime, and played by Bruce Willis, actually. And he brings him in, and they start to do kind of like crimes together. And then all of a sudden, Frank ends up dead, and it's up to Edward Norton's character to figure out what happened to him. And the reason I'm so excited for this is, like I said, Edward Norton is someone who he's not in a ton of stuff because it seems like he, has a hard time working with people. But whenever he is in a movie, he's pretty damn good, and I could watch him in pretty much anything. I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, Edward Norton, I mean, he's great in movies. Like, he's in one of my all-time favorite movies, Fight Club, which, Rob, obviously you've seen, right?
No.
So, yeah, I love Edward Norton. And Bruce Willis, I mean, it depends upon the project for Bruce Willis. If he's with the right director, he can be great.
Yeah, he's good when he wants to be good, and he's with people like when he's working with Ryan Johnson or Shyamalan or something like that, he's good. If he's doing the Red Box special of the month, he's just gonna
see. Okay, with the Shyamalan, like Bruce Willis was great, obviously in Sixth Sense, and he was great in Unbreakable. I didn't think it was that great in Glass.
I mean, I thought he was fine. I didn't feel like he didn't have a lot of lines in the movie.
Yeah, so he didn't have that much to do in the movie either.
I thought he was good for what he was given, though, in that. It was definitely better than anything else he had done. I mean, I never saw Death Wish, but that looked horrible.
I didn't think it was, like, honestly, like, consider, like, he didn't have that big of a role in that movie. He didn't really have that much to do to really show that he was doing anything more than he's done in his other movies. Like, it literally just felt like he was just walking through that movie the same way he walks through all the other ones.
On a side note, everybody should take a chance and go on demand and watch the roast of Bruce Willis. I watched it like last week or something. It was pretty damn funny. They make fun of a lot of his career decisions, and it's a pretty good watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, Motherless Brooklyn I think comes out in November. I think maybe Edward Norton could get a Best Actor nomination. I think the movie seems to have some kind of mixed reviews, as a 67 on Rotten Tomatoes, but everybody said his performance is very good, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right. I listed 3. We'll do 2 more. Which one? Well, I'll do another one we didn't talk about. Let's do Sound of Metal. This is a movie that actually filmed right near us, Nathaniel, at the Agawam Diner in Raleigh, Massachusetts. Yeah, and it stars Riz Ahmed from Rogue One and Nightcrawler, and Olivia Cook from Ready Player One. And it's about a heavy metal drummer played by Riz Ahmed, and he's been in this life, this heavy metal life for a while, and it starts to take an effect on him as he starts to lose his hearing. And it's kind of about his journey on what he's going to do. Like, is he going to have to stop, or is he just going to keep continuing even though it's damaging to his health? And the writer-director for this movie is a first-time director, but he actually he was co-writer on, what the hell's the movie? A Place Beyond the Pines, which was, I think that's a very underrated movie. That's definitely one of the better movies I've seen in the last 5 years. And I feel like that needs to be talked about more, and I'm excited to see him write another movie, especially with a talented actor like Riz Ahmed. Did you like Place Beyond the Pines, Nathaniel? I'm
sorry, what was that last part?
Did you like Place Beyond the Pines?
I did. I like that movie a lot. The performances in that movie is great. Like, I don't know. Overall, that's a really great movie. I enjoyed that one a lot.
Yeah, that's a good one. And another interesting fact about Sound of Metal, so I told you that the protagonist starts to lose his hearing. Apparently, I don't know if this is 100% true, but the way they present the movies, as the movie progresses and he starts to lose his hearing, the way the movie starts to become distorted too, so it sounds like you're losing your hearing as well. So I don't know how that's going to work out, but it's pretty interesting. So
yeah.
All right, and we'll do one more, and then we'll call it a night for Robbie. Which one? I'll do another one we talked about last week. Dolomite Is My Name. Eddie Murphy is returning to movies. We haven't seen him in a while. He's done a lot of crappy kids movies in the past year, but this is a full adult movie. He plays the real-life person, Rudy Ray Moore, also known as his alter ego, or not alter ego, what's it called? Maybe it is alter ego. I don't know. Screw it. He plays a character in his own movies in this movie. It's a real life story when he plays in these movies, and his name is Dolomite, and it's kind of like, if you ever seen that movie Black Dynamite, it's kind of what that movie was inspired by, and it reminds me a lot of The Disaster Artist in a way of a guy who was told he was never going to make it into Hollywood, he was never going to make a movie or anything like that, but he went out there, found the funding for it, and did it himself. And I love those kind of movies, and especially with Eddie Murphy, I think he's an actor who is obviously Academy Award nominated, and I think he could maybe get another one with this one. And it's going to go right to Netflix, so it'll be an easy watch. You can watch it in the underwear if you want. And it comes out in October, too. So I think that's going to be a really good one.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, those are all movies I'm really looking forward to. We've got, we're entering that award season for
movies. This is where we get the best movies, in my opinion.
I agree. We're getting a whole bunch coming. So, Rob, can you run off those 5 again real quick?
Yeah. Uncut Gems, Color Out of Space, the one I just mentioned, Dolomite Is My Name, Sound of Metal, and what was the other one?
Motherless Brooklyn?
There you go. Thank you.
So that is our 5 here, and that was the Rob Report, and this has been the Movie Paradise Show. Once again, I'm your host, Nathanael Molnár. Thank you, Rob Giachinta, for being here with us for the Movie Paradise Show. You can check us out again next Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our next installment. We'll do another set of Did You Hear, Go or No Go, and the Rob Report. So thank you, Rob, again for being here with us.
Yeah, sorry, we got disconnected there, but I'm hanging out. There's no questions, or are we just...
So we're just gonna close the show out here. So Rob, thanks for joining us here, and make sure to tune in again on YouTube 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Saturday for another edition of the Movie Paradise Show. So thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you again soon.